boys. So we saw the first little mini pound rally today. This is on the back of Prime Minister May's back down to the UK Parliament to allow them to debate her plan, the way that she's handling the Brexit. Lets the Labour, the left wing, a little bit more softer approach come through and debate and perhaps temper some of the rhetoric coming from the power in charge, right? The main power who, the Conservative Party over there, they did the vote. David Cameron was in the Conservative Party, was the leader, and he stepped down afterwards, right? So we've got the new Prime Minister. But it's still the Conservative Party that was sort of the force behind it. Now, what this does is it's good news to the Bears and as to the Bulls, and it's the first little bit of good news we've seen. Sharp rally. I mean, big rally in relative terms. We don't really see that sort of move on the back of news like that, but given the market's been so heavily oversold, it looks like we ran with it. In terms of potential for much bigger moves, yeah. I mean, it can rally all the way back to 125 and not threaten the downtrend. So, selling into this rally is super dangerous, yeah. At these levels, just don't do it, right? I mean, Europeans been tempered, but perhaps the US want to run with it as well. Also do another little leg higher. And because it'd be so quick, it'd be hard to know where to put your stop in a situation like this. So just let the market go crazy and then let it roll over, then sell. Put your stop above wherever it got to on the high. That's the way I would be playing this on the short side. But I don't have any pounds, so I'm not too worried about that. We've been talking about the US dollar strength and the best ways to play it, either selling euro or to buy the dollar yen in the last few days. So the way I've been playing is long dollar yen. Haven't broken 104 yet. A little disappointing with that price action today. Haven't given up on it, but I'm just a little concerned that the timing of this might be a little off. So in terms of the trades that we're in, we're pretty heavy in the long dollar yen. And I might as well put some stops in here while we're here. Put it at 102.70. Alright, gets to 102.70, something's up with this US dollar strength. And that's my core position. I'm short euro by being long dollar Swiss. That's another trade that's working out well. Been adding to that trade as well. And so it's okay. Nothing too crazy there. Aussie Kiwi's doing well, kicking higher. Not much to stop that. That's a slow burn higher. The same way it's slow sell slow. This is just a slow burn higher. Aussie's just grinding up. Every rally is bigger than the Kiwi rally. Every dip from the Kiwis falling faster than the Aussie. So this is a great little trade. I should have had more on, but I got a little bit scared on that dip. Didn't buy enough. And then when it shot up, it didn't give me much of a back down sort of chance. And to be honest, I wasn't watching it. There's a lot of pound stuff going on during that last couple of weeks, so it's still okay. And the Mexican trade's doing fine. Mexican trade's Mexican trade is doing fine. Over time, it's probably just going to keep on going lower as Trump says more crazy stuff. So that's what I'm banking on. Pretty good bet so far. So yeah, a lot of traders want to trade the pound. I know that. So my theory is just sell the big rally. Nothing substantial has come out. There's nothing concrete, so this is not the big one. I'll just be selling into it, but not here. This is just too low, too quick. Want to see what the US session traders do on the back of this. Yeah, well, I can't lose all the time, can I, DRCDP? It's gone like that for a couple of weeks. Yeah, let's sell some euro pound. Eventually there'll be a recovery trade. Yeah, what? Didn't do that. What was I talking about? Something Aussie on rallies has been a bit of a theme as well. So it's been working out. And there was some nice strength here in the Asian session. I suspect we got into the lower end of this range that's held for such a long time. I don't know. Maybe a fair bit of the free money's done and this is getting a little bit choppy. I might not sell into this particular rally that we're having today. I'll let it go through to the keeper, right? That's a cricket term, we just let it go. If you don't like it, you don't have to trade it. You know, just because it's like I've got a preference to sell Aussie doesn't mean I sell every rally. This is some surprising strength in Asia. Selling Kiwi makes more sense. We've still got 150 points to go to the 200-day moving average. A common little pullback target there for big rallies is to go back and test that. So I suspect we've got a little bit more room to move. Some selling coming through on the stock market last night. Nothing crazy, no big story. I wouldn't be chasing that yet. Be looking on the dip. This is the main reason why dollar yen hasn't kicked past 104. The safe haven bid it's getting there from the risk off stocks, but over time, if things stabilize or things just go sideways, yeah, dollar yen I think is going to break that top side as yields continue to rally in the US. And you know, I was strategizing with a couple of traders today about how this is going to play out. From the Fed. Now, the Fed has not been telegraphing its moves very well in the last 6 months. And so we've had situations where we've gone into the Fed meetings where the market's only been pricing in a 20-30% chance of a rate hike. Okay, so in terms of how I think it's going to play out in the next couple of weeks, couple of months before the Fed, I think we're going to see a series of Fed speaks, so speeches or just interviews, where the big players make it pretty clear December's happening. All right, so we got Yellen on Friday, and it could be the start, right? But if they make it pretty clear so that the chances are not 50% or 60%, but 80%, right? And remain stubbornly at 80% going into the event, it's easier for the Fed to get it to actually do it. If they miscommunicate again, and you know they let some piece of data dictate to the market what's happening, or some stock market sell-off dictate to the market that they're not going to raise rates, then they'll lose that December chance. So I think they're going to be very forceful in the next month in talking up the chances of a Fed rate hike. Even the doves might get involved, just so it's fully priced in. Now, what I feel that's going to do is create a US dollar rally, and one which is going to be fairly substantial. So I am looking at the dollar yen as the way to play it. I don't think euro is the cleanest way. I don't think pound's the cleanest way. Depending on how the stock market reacts to continuing yield rally and US dollar rally, I suspect Aussie is going to do badly. Yeah, so while I'm not in the mood to sell it right now, I think that gold's going to 1200, maybe below, to 1170. And I think the US dollar is going to be broadly bid. Yeah, and that US dollar yen is going to be the biggest gainer. But you might see some downside in the euro, you might see some downside in the Aussie in the same environment. Okay, so that's how I think it's going to play out. And that's my new baseline going forward. That's what I'm going to try and to build up a portfolio of US dollar longs in anticipation of the market coming to the same view that I have now. All right, so a lot of what trading is very similar to that quote, anticipating other people's anticipations. What I suspect is going to happen is going to be the Fed's going to be very hawkish, maintain that there's going to be this Fed hike, and that's going to create waves of US dollar buying. and I want to be long before it happens. Okay, so that's the way I'm playing it. That's justification. So going forward, you might hear me talk about this a bit more and more. I'll be looking at the Fed speeches more closely than previously. I'll be looking at the US yields more closely than previously, just to get a sense that that's happening. And then when the market also gets that same idea, hopefully we're already 200 pips higher on the dollar yen, so that we're free rolling with trades, and it's just gravy on top. That's how you make the big money, right? You gotta sort of see what's happening next before it happens. Now there is this Italian vote. All right, now the people are hyping that up a lot. That's coming up in December. Now that's probably not Euro positive, right? And the fact they're talking about it already in the 12th of October, maybe they're going to talk about it a lot more. The market seems to like these referendums. This one's on parliamentary rule changes, try to get some action going on in the Italian government system where nothing seems to happen because there's not enough majority. So that's the only other big thing happening in the markets. Also ECB taper or lack thereof talk. Now ECB is probably going to be at least putting that to bed at the next meeting, maybe restoring it in the January or the March meetings, talking about the tapering, but just in the short term anyway, trying to put that to bed. That's another reason why the euro is under so much pressure. So we'll see how that plays out. If you are looking to buy the pound, I don't mind selling the euro pound. That's the way I prefer to play it. Yeah, so let's see how it plays out. I mean, it's sounds like I know what I'm talking about. Just one trade. You know, you only remember the bad trades, right? The Mexican trade's killing it, but Aussie Kiwi trade's killing it, but it's one bad trade. Which one's it going to be? Probably the dollar yen trade. Dollar yen's a killer. Wake up and it'll be down. Kuroda says something. BHA says something. I don't speak Japanese. I don't know what they're saying. Alright, let's have a look at some of the so look at some of the trade ideas in the room. Amen. What are you saying there? Has there been more news out?
The impact is going to be very, very severe indeed. This morning there was a leak from the United Kingdom Treasury which puts an estimate and figures on that process. It suggests over a 15-year period a 5 to 10% loss of gross domestic product, a 20% decline in foreign direct investment, a 20% reduction in international trade. In financial terms, an 66,000.
Not enough juice, Captain. What's going on here? This is MBN as well in Australia. Well done, Australia.
£1 million loss in annual government revenues. I don't have to convert that into euros because at the rate the pound is sinking, it's going to be parity with the euro very soon.
Snappity
indeed.
Snap.
So why should any government, United Kingdom government, engage in this economic damage? And the answer is that the UK government prioritised the restriction on free movement of.
Still, he's just put a little bit of snappity snap there on the on the UK. I don't have to convert that into euros because at the rate that the pound is falling, we're going to be a parity very time soon. Is he not loved over there? I didn't know that.
People before the benefits of free trade and free movement of goods and capital. Now, what is important for this Assembly to understand, that while England and Wales voted narrowly for Brexit, Scotland and Northern Ireland, the other countries within the United Kingdom, voted overwhelmingly to remain part of the European structures. We want no part of the economic sabotage that the hard Brexit process entails. And that's why we're looking for support from other members of this Assembly, from other Europeans, to maintain our European connections. The Secretary-General of this body was asked yesterday by my colleague Mohammed Sheikh about the position of Scotland and Northern Ireland. He said, well, Scotland and Northern Ireland will find their own way, but of course they will still have the protection of the European Convention on Human Rights. That overlooks the fact, of course, that the UK government is also deeply hostile to the European Convention on Human Rights, the greatest achievement of this body and something which is actually embedded into the foundation statute of the Scottish Parliament. So we're looking for support from other members of this Assembly, for other Europeans, to maintain our economic connections with Europe and Scotland, and also the protection of the European Convention for the Scottish people.
Interesting. Nice little rant. Bank of England's Cunliffe, not saying financial markets have over or underreacted to Brexit vote, declines to give view of where the market is right on the pound. What? Why would you say that, sir? Say something. Don't say something ridiculous.
From President Vladimir Putin here at the World Energy Congress, a very firm commitment at the highest level of government. And his able minister Alexander Novak had been with us, working hand to hand, side by side, shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
So we are confident.
That sounds great, but how much do they need to cut for you to be happy?
I would not like to preempt the consultations that are right now ongoing, but we have got a firm commitment from the Russian Federation to participate in the consensus going forward. So in putting these building blocks in place.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of people are mispricing how hard it is for to be a sort of concrete deal with OPEC. It's not the sort of thing that I would sleep happy being long oil on, that's for sure, with Russia involved. You already had Rosneft come out saying that they're not going to curb production. This is like one of the large companies over there in Russia, the largest Russia producer. No, it's not too late to get on the Mexican trade. You just have to stagger your entry. Look, here in Australia, you don't get upset with our accent, okay? Transitionary. Crazy. Alright, let's have a look at some of the trade ideas, guys. It's not bigger than the Saudi Arabia Aramco, right? Surely. I don't know if you'd call that the company, though. I mean, they're planning on selling bonds into it or selling bits of it off. Jesus, that sounds dangerous. I want to buy a bit of Saudi Arabia's oil company. What are we checking? Rosneft versus Rosneft Aramco. can't be bigger than Aramco, mate. It can't be. Saudi Arabia. I'm probably saying that wrong. Aramco is estimated at 1.25 trillion, making it the world's most valuable company. I think that we'll just leave the debate there. When the short euros here. Hard to read his chart, unfortunately, because of where he's done it on TradingView. He's short right now, basically a little bit higher, targeting the break of 110. Yeah, not a bad trade. Pretty high probability. Just got to watch it when it gets down to 110. Short on the Kiwi on the rally. Okay. Yeah, you want to retest that level and then sell. I mean, it's a pretty high probability trade too. Not bad. Good work, SARS. Look, the thing about Aramco is not a real company, right? So yeah, you're probably right in terms of what you can go and buy right now. It's Rosneft. I mean, both are just ridiculously big, ridiculously corrupt, and government controlled. I'll take this off so you can see a bit clearer. Wait, is he long or short? What has he done here? Ah, short, good. I like it. I like it. I like it. ASICAD long. Jeez, that's a dangerous trade. That is a dangerous trade, Travis. Look, the reason that a lot of people are selling Aussie CAD is that they suspect gold's going lower and oil's going higher. So if you have that view, then you can step this one out, right? That's the only thing. Obviously, it's in a nice sort of uptrend. There's been some nice buying on dips for a long time, and that support may come back in. And Canadian dollar has been surprisingly weak against the US dollar. But the RBA's gone neutral. RBA's faring well, and the relationship between gold and RBA is not that strong. So maybe long Aussie CAD is okay. I don't know. I just don't expect gangbuster sort of type of moves here. I'd be keeping a close eye on oil if I was doing this. I think there's high probability trades out there. Euro Kiwi long. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. I mean, Kiwi should be weaker than the Euro going forward, but not by much. There might be a better way to play the Kiwi weakness. And class has got onto the dollar Mexican selling train. Yeah, so the actual target that we're here for is much lower on the... I'll put in some take profits for you guys if I haven't already. 1750-ish. That's the sort of level that we're looking for. That could be easily achieved here on a victory by Clinton. All right, let's have a look at some of the research out there from the banks, boys. We'll finish up with that. That's how we normally do. Just keeping an eye on the pound. Come back and it's moved to 100 points. I think this is mostly going to be stock market sort of picks, but just in case they've got a theme pick. In terms of what the VIX is, guys, we need to keep an eye on that every now and again. So the VIX is still remaining low. Therefore, the issues with risk off and things like this is it's much harder to be short expecting risk off than it is right now. Alright, it seems like it's all. See if there's an overall trade here. Alright, just stocks. Just stocks. So you saw some of the business lobbies come out being like, everyone's settled down, huh? They're trying to get May to backtrack. And don't underestimate how important business is in the negotiations going forward. What we actually saw coming out of Merkel was that she was threatening the businesses not to buck the line that the government has in terms of hard line with the UK. And these are international companies. They want things to be settled down and things to be moved forward. So, you know, there's a lot of power in the background that is going to try and stabilize things. That's something you got to keep in mind too. Politicians only have so much power. And if things are happening in the background, then perhaps the pound is closer to a bottom than we, might feel. Because how are we going to know the bottom's in? Basically, the market will be up 400 or 500 points, and optimism would have turned. Yeah, something would be once the market feels the bottom in as well, it's going substantially higher. The front running will be ridiculous. ECB. So ECB hasn't done anything for the last couple of months, last couple of meetings. We shouldn't expect, I believe it's next week, there to be anything different. But what will be a big topic of discussion is the taper leak. So if he comes out and he says that the tapering is not going to happen, and that the initially is going to be extended at 80 billion euros, then you are going to see pretty substantial euro selling most likely. And if we're below 110 when this meeting happens next Thursday, that could be another catalyst for the next leg in US dollar strength. A little early for us to be talking about the ECB meeting, but yeah, it's on the horizon now. Not that you can trust Goldman Sachs, but they're not too bad, guys. They're not too bad. People talk it up like they're trying to get their clients' money, but if that was a thing, they don't need to get the clients' money. They can get the market's money. Wow, gold fell more than the pound last week. Is that true, sir? Jesus, that's crazy. That's crazy. Probably program trading error. Yeah, well, maybe. So we'll keep an eye on this little Trump poll as well coming. This is very important for our Mexican trade. Oh, they're thinking the US dollar's going to range trade. They want to buy the dip. That means they want to buy the Kiwi. They want to buy the Aussie. At some point, if the Kiwi really gets oversold, like goes to 69, I'd be interested in having a sniff around on the buy side there. Mainly because I think there's a bigger chance than the market is currently pricing in of the RBNZ not hiking rates. Yeah, jeez. That's a nice chart. I don't know, maybe we'll sniff around early. You know how it is, right? It falls quickly. This is how Kiwi rolls. It falls quickly, stabilizes, then it grinds higher. You know, especially if we don't think stocks are going to go down, then it is hard to see follow through selling. So in the end, this could be a very nice tactical buy opportunity coming up here for the Kiwi. Let's see how it goes in the next 100 pips, but look at me turn bullish on the Kiwi in the space of minutes. Okay, we actually wanted to sell for a long time. We're selling. It's just RBNZ could go neutral quicker than we expect. The latest commentary out of the RBNZ, though, as early as this week, has been dovish. So I think there's one more cut in, but maybe not two. So if there's only one more cut in, then we have to be looking at buying wherever the market could get to. If we think stability is going to be there, it will still be at the highest rate. It's going to be going from 2 to down to 1.7%, 75%. That's still going to be the highest yielder of all the major economies, right? Of the traded currencies, and so it's higher than the Aussie, which is at 1.5, and the economy is stronger than Australia's economy. So it is. There's reasons to be long on this pair once it stops falling. I need to stop looking at that chart. That's getting me bullish. I don't want to be bullish. I swear if I read hard at Brexit one more time, I'm going to kill someone. UK has the right to formulate immigration policy and also single market access at the same time, but this claim has already been turned down by France and Germany. French presidential election, German federal election. Ooh, Jesus. Next year's going to be a cracker for the EU. You know, I suspect there's going to be some sort of pro-European Union movement developing in the UK. And it won't surprise me at all if there's a general UK election on the Brexit. Alright, it won't surprise me at all. That's before the 2 years are up. 2 years negotiation. Politics is a funny thing, right? It's a long time away. But if Labour starts, say in 6 months, Labour changes leader again, and the leader's platform is stay in the EU, and people are just sick of the debates. I mean, it's not stay in the EU, but stay in a stronger, revised EU or something, right? Whatever it is. That could end up being the most popular stance. I think that people underestimated how how casually the UK just decided to change European politics. It was, yeah, the EU is not perfect, and might be doomed to fail eventually. But I don't know. Maybe we've reformed. Maybe this is a jolt that needs to get things done. And if it changed a little, maybe it will be something that the UK would like to be part of. The lack of trade barriers and the free movement between people, that has to be a huge economic benefit. There can't be isolationists, not in 2016. Obviously immigration is a part of it that has to be tackled, but there should be some compromise in the end. They'll probably end up being basically in the EU anyway, right? Maybe I'm an optimist. Okay, so these guys are pretty bullish. We'll have a little look at being long the Kiwi if the market gets low. No reason to be there yet. Alright boys, that's enough for today. I'll be back tomorrow at 9 GMT. You let me know if you want me to look at any particular pairs. Yeah, I probably am wrong on the UK politics. I don't know. Look, I'm not from the UK, mate. I don't know. It's I feel like you got some strong opinions though, Kerbo FX. Yeah. All right, you guys are gonna leave, and then what? Eventually, you get back in. That's by 2030, you'd be back in some sort of revised form, surely. You're just not gonna look at the biggest market in the world and have some sort of economic sanctions going on, relative sanctions. We'll see, mate. We'll see. It's not my war anyway. I'm here in Australia, mate. We're happy. We don't have these sort of issues. We might kick out Tasmania. That's about it. Yeah, maybe by 2030 the EU won't exist. All right. Well, that puts the UK in a better position, right? that would be a disaster. I mean, not a disaster. We would have heaps more pairs to trade. As an FX trader, we'd be loving it. We'd sell the euro all the way down till it broke, and then we'd would buy German Deutschmark, right? We'd just buy the German Deutschmark against the US because it would be such a strong currency undervalued because of the euro. Yeah, that'd be fun. Alright guys, have a good day. I'll be back tomorrow at 9 GMT. If you do want me to look at a particular chart, just send me a PM. I'll have a look at it. We might look at it tomorrow. If you're watching this at YouTube, come across the Forex Signals. If you do want to leave PM, it is a free website. Thank you guys.